We're going to be looking at how to configure a domain to your account and then attribute that domain to a particular funnel or funnel step. We're in the settings area and then specifically in the domains tab. And if you don't have any domain, you're just going to click on that blue add new domain and then go ahead and type in your domain. So the common one is www.yoururl. And then you've got instructions for how to connect it. So you're going to be doing this in the registrar or whoever manages your DNS records. This could be where you purchase the domain or could be somewhere else. But one actual DNS manager that we really like and endorse is Cloudflare. So I'm going to hop into our Cloudflare account and show you these settings and then some other particular things that you might need to troubleshoot. And so I guess I'll start off with the issue. I'm going to misspell this intentionally. And if you think you've got it configured and you see this error, couldn't find a CNAME record pointing to it, I'm going to show you a couple things, especially if you're using Cloudflare, that might be creating an issue. And so we're going to hop into our account. The first thing is if you have the proxy enabled, sometimes that creates the issue with the initial attribution to the domain to the account. So we turn off the proxy status there. And if you're using the A record, that also can create an issue. We've seen it with just a delay in terms of that attribution. It will work, but if you want to just go as quickly as possible, I recommend just using the CNAME. And so a couple things that I have set up in here. You see I've got the root, which is just the core domain with an @ sign. I've got the www. That kind of popular subdomain. Set up a CNAME, and then I have this wildcard. It's an asterisk. So I put an asterisk in there, and what that accomplishes, it means any subdomain that I might want to use for a funnel, it will automatically be attributed. So it just simplifies the amount of work that you need to do. So you're not adding a new record in there. If you want to have like a go.your domain.com or start.yourdomain.com for different funnels. So this is kind of the most simple and consolidated configuration you can have for DNS to make everything work. And so just an asterisk for a wildcard. That's all your subdomains are going to work with that. Your root and then the common www. So I'm going to show you back in here. We're configuring the www. I hit add, and because I've got it configured correctly, yay, successfully attributed. So that's all good. Wonderful. Now, if you have your main URL, not just a subdomain, so you're using your entire website on the platform, which you have the ability to do, you're going to want to put in both. So you want to put in both the www and without, so just the root domain, which you saw I had configured over there. And that's wonderful. And so now with that root domain, it's giving me the option here to select the funnel for the domain. And we only have one funnel set up, and so I could what this does by selecting a funnel in there is so that if someone types in the root of the domain with nothing trailing, no / anything in the URL, it's going to still go to that original funnel. And so that's how you can link that. This is optional. You don't have to do it, but I'm going to go ahead and link that. And so now that's set up and configured to send to that funnel. And then just to give you an idea, you saw the configuration over there with the wildcard, that asterisk in there. Now I can use any other subdomain and it'll automatically configure and work totally fine. And so you can see I can actually connect the same funnel and multiple funnels all pointing to the same funnel. But if you have multiple funnels in the account, you can attribute them here. You don't have to, but I'll show you that this is if you want it to resolve to the funnel with just the domain. So just in this case, the subdomain is start. Your URL and nothing trailing afterwards. This is where you have to configure it, but you don't have to. So I'm gonna. This is successful, and so if I just exit out of here, I still have it configured. It's just not linked to anywhere in particular. If I want to come back and link it, I just edit there, and I can select the actual page as well. So not just a domain, but an actual step. Or not just a funnel, but an actual step in that funnel. So you can select a particular step. So let's say I want this one to go to the second step, because we know by default, if it's linked, just that original linking is going to be linking it to that first step. And but I can actually link to different steps in the same funnel, which is very cool. And that means it's going to resolve without anything coming after it. Okay, I'm going to hop over into the funnels area to show you as well from that side. So after you have domains configured, you go into your funnel, and you've seen this, and you may have seen this in other videos. Because we already linked it, it's already attributed. But I'm going to give you an example of a funnel which has not already been connected to a domain. So creating a new one, we have to create our first step. And so for this funnel that has not been connected yet, we're going to go to the Settings tab. And now you can actually select a funnel, select a domain for the funnel. Right? So you can select a domain for the funnel from this angle and save. And so now it's going to default to attribute pages to that funnel, or to that domain rather. So the difference between having it configured from the domain and assigned to the funnel, and coming from the funnel and assigning to the domain, is this will resolve with that step 1 in there. And if I connect it from the domain, that original settings we did, it would resolve without the step 1. It may still show the step 1, but it would work without it. So if you, trying to be clear here, if you do it that first way, it will work without it no matter what, and it won't add this to the URL and what they see. If you don't do it that way, you would need to have the complete URL to resolve the funnel. Hopefully that makes sense, but we'll have some other videos deep diving into this and clarifying some other issues that you might find in trying to configure your domains.